What's up, dudes? Max here. It has been some time since I've made a video like this where we're just going to be talking about a topic, but I've been without internet for a couple of days now. I've had the ability to not upload, no streaming, no YouTube videos, and it's weird how if you're away from something that you're so used to doing that people seem to enjoy, if you're disconnected from that, you want to get back on the horse as soon as possible. And I've been wanting to make this video, and this is the perfect opportunity because this is a talking piece, and I have made videos talking about this in the past, and that's the ability to accept loss. And I think this is tough for a lot of folks, specifically in fighting games. Beanie! This is tough for a lot of folks, specifically in fighting games, because going online and accepting ranked matches, Beanie, come on! It's a little difficult to go through a process knowing that you're not going to be able to win all the time, much less even have a majority of your matches, especially if you're starting off in a fighting game or you're refreshing on a fighting game, which is something that, as you guys can tell, we do on this channel a lot. I'll not have the opportunity to play a fighting game sometimes for, geez, man, 3 to 6 months. And even a game that I love, like Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, there's so much new things that are out lately, fighting game-wise, in terms of content, in terms of completely new titles, much less other games that I'm just very excited about. I feel that there's just been this insane barrage of stuff, and even the moments where I'd love to sit down for more than even a day, maybe just 2 days of playing a singular fighting game and learning how to be good at it, I don't have that much of an opportunity. So it's about learning as much as you can, as quickly as possible for me, and that works for me, but it's definitely not going to work for everyone. I take this gameplay you're seeing in the background as an example because this took place a couple of months ago. It was my birthday, and I wanted to play Killer Instinct. The first person that I run into is someone that doesn't have a crazy high rank, and my rank isn't very high because I had not played KI in quite some time. But I wanted to learn a brand new character, which was Shadow Jago, and I've played a little bit of Shadow Jago, never really put a lot of time into him. And I just wanted to stick with it. Long story short, I run into this dude that is extremely good with Riptor, that has been playing Riptor, obviously, the majority of time that he's been playing Killer Instinct, and a lot of my competitive, I'd say my competitive responsiveness with Killer Instinct is mostly back in Season 1. I have a good understanding of what, the old Double Helix KI and a lot of characters can do, because that's when I put the most time into it, but after that, many of you guys know, I got the opportunity to work on the game. I worked on all the cinematics and everything from Season 2 and beyond. I got to play KI as much as I could for fun, while spreading a lot of that time between, obviously, YouTube videos, broadcasting, and working more than full-time to add any cinematics to the game. So this session right here is a good opportunity of what I can describe as a requirement if you want to get better at a fighting game. One of the things that I don't get the opportunity to do because it's not specifically engaging for an audience in general. A lot of people that watch fighting games want to see different things. There's a reason why everyone complains about training stages. I mean, shit, there's a reason why I complain about training stage being the #1 thing you see for a majority of fighting games. I think training stages should not be included in a lot of fighting games in terms of which stage you can pick for online matches. I think they should take that out. If it means that, the game doesn't perform as well on other stages, and that's why we pick training stage, then that's the problem. That is the big underlying problem. You're making your players choose a training stage that is extremely limited and less visually interesting. I gave the example to Steve one day. If I go to Street Fighter 5 on Twitch or YouTube and I watch people playing the game, I guarantee you 9 out of 10 matches of people that know how to play the game are playing on training stage. And that's because they want the game to be as responsive and as gameplay fluent as it possibly can. But like I was saying, for someone that has to make fighting game entertainment videos that hopefully allow me to get a little bit better at a game with little time that I have, but also have to share that time with a variety of different stages, sometimes a variety of characters, if not a variety of opponents, that is quite literally counterintuitive to being an entertainer compared to being someone that actually wants to get really good. And of course, I have to find the balance in between. And this was an opportunity where I'm like, you know what? I am going to let this rock because I'm playing a guy that's extremely good with Riptor. I notoriously have never really known how to fight against Riptor, Riptor's options, what she can do, what her mix-ups are, my entire time. So I think I went on a grind session with this opponent, and I end up going about 30 matches, maybe 33 matches, and only winning about 3 games. And for a lot of people, that is super uncomfortable, just thinking of that aspect of losing that much. and I got a ton of shit for it. People were going crazy, riding me very hard, and it's tough, but at the same time, I think it's a good opportunity to have people understand. I would have quit at like 5 games. Like, to be completely honest, for the sake of entertainment, I would have quit right after 5 games. But the quality of the matches was good. I was still learning how to play a character, and I was playing against someone who was really good, who knew how to play this character fluently in a game that I had not played in a long time. And I wanted to get better with my character, if not understand the situation so much that you have to value that competition. You have to actually value the fact that someone wants to play you more than a couple of times, even though your skill level isn't nearly as good. Of course, I'm in situations where people love to blow me up in any opportunity they possibly get in online matches just because they'll have the exposure for doing so. But for a lot of others, that opportunity doesn't show up very much. And I don't get the opportunity to just lose constantly because people start going absolutely crazy if you lose more than 1 or 2 games in a fighting game online and you have a large audience. So in this situation, I just kept losing and losing and losing. But it wasn't the fact that you becoming more and frustrated. You're 15 games down, and it's the most frustrating thing in the world. In a game like Killer Instinct, I like the gameplay of this game, obviously. I think Killer Instinct sets up for a lot of crazy hype moments, and it's a fast as hell fighting game that is very hard to learn how to play. So even though my victory record against this guy was like less than 10% of the entire matches that we played, I was still having fun. There was still a moment where, even though I'm getting my ass beaten, I'm getting opened up by things that I have never really even seen that this character can do for me. I'm going to try to do my best that if that happens again, to not let it happen again. To immediately start identifying the things that are kicking your ass, whether or not I'm getting thrown constantly. I am getting mixed up from a 50-50 constantly. This guy is trying to do this one thing to me over and over and over again, and I need to find a gap in there because there's most likely a gap. If you can see those moments while you're playing, that is what can take a losing situation and actually make it fun, because nobody wants to lose. Telling someone that you're going to go into a fighting game and you're going to lose all the time is still the #1 most challenging thing, which is why I think it's ultimately frugal for a lot of fighting games to tone down their mechanics, because even if you have a fighting game that has toned down mechanics and you go up against somebody else that, is also playing a fighting game that is versed in fighting games and it has toned down mechanics, the person with experience will almost always beat the people without experience. And that is something that is difficult for developers to design around. And it's also difficult for casual players jumping into fighting games to accept that, man, this game's easier than any other. You're still going to get blown up by people constantly. If you don't have experience in these games, you're still going to get your ass beat. But the question is, are you finding it fun? Is the learning process actually fun? Can you do something like I did and look at like a 10% win record against somebody as being an experience that you enjoyed? And I can, just because that's the way I learned growing up playing fighting games. I had to go to the arcades and just accept that I was going to get my ass beat. And that was, I'd argue, 10 times tougher than playing in front of an audience of 10,000 people live, if not hundreds of thousands here on YouTube. You had to give up money directly in front of these people to play again. Like, there was a visual acceptance that I'm losing money by this guy being better at the game, and I'm going to keep putting money in this machine to get better at it. So I feel that that's conditioned myself. It's a mental state that for a lot of people is going to be easier, and for me is still hard to accept. Like, even in some situations, depending on the game, if the connection isn't great online, if the game doesn't run good online, I think the frustration might not be worth it. But for games that you love, for games that you truly love, again, one of those games is Killer Instinct for me. Even losing in one of these games, I find to be extremely valuable. So for the sake of this guy playing me 30 matches, I actually super appreciate it. But I found this to be a wonderful learning opportunity that I'm just going to keep losing. I'm going to keep losing to this guy, and I'm going to keep adjusting my game plan to the point of which, even if I win some matches on this dude in a game that I have no experience, I find that to be valuable. Am I going to say that I'm better than this person? Absolutely not. It's clear that time is the most important thing when it comes to training fighting games. You need to learn all these matchups. You need to learn what the game is capable of, much less what your characters are capable of. And if you don't have that, you're in for a long road. But if you can come out of that road, if you can eventually make the turn to the point of which you're taking games and you're actually learning something, that's where you need to immediately identify the value. And to me, that's what's great about fighting games. The moment where you break that barrier, there's really nothing like it. Able to even take that many. Because that guy's been playing this game most likely before, most likely the entirety of Season 3 up until now. What I say at the start, chat, like we're gonna play this out and I'm gonna learn how to do this shit.